the Afia Business Morning. Join me every weekday on the Afia Business Morning as we bring to you a trilogy of business segments. The opening bell, where we see activities from our selected stock exchanges. The global business, where we bring you up to speed on business activities making the rounds all over the world. And we bring the conversation home on the segment Eastern Business Reports, as we discuss business activities and issues bedeviling businesses in the Southeast region. My name is Ubon Kings. Join the Afia Business Morning every weekday, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Exclusive to Afia TV on DSTV channel 254 and Go TV channel 17. The Afia Business Morning. Business unusual.
Top of the morning to you. It's Monday, the 4th day of November 2024, and today, as always, we will take a look at, commodity reports and activities from our selected exchanges on the opening bell segment. Web business news, stories from around Africa and the rest of the world will come to you on Global Business. We'll also take a look at the issues affecting businesses in the southeastern part of Nigeria on the Eastern Business Report, and finally, activities and conversations from around the market will come to you on Afia. The Afia Business Morning takes center stage every weekday, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. My name is Ubon Kings. Welcome to the Afia Business Morning. Trading on the floors of the Nigerian exchange is open today. The exchange in London opened an hour ago. The New York exchange is yet to open, while in China opening bells went off at 2 a.m. local time. Welcome to Opening Bell. First, we're going to be taking a quick look at some business news stories making the rounds. Starting from the continent economy, where it's reported that South Africa projects rising debt despite improved growth. Story has it that the South African government forecasted higher budget deficits and debt for the next 3 years, even as improved electricity supply suggests better growth prospects. When the first budget review since forming a coalition, the National Treasury projected a 5.0% deficit of national output for the fiscal year ending in March 2025, up from 4.5% previously forecasted. And moving on to stories from the global economy, it's reported that Amsterdam's Schiphol Airport is to raise its airline fees. Story has it that Amsterdam's Schiphol Airport has announced that it will be raising its airline fees by 41% next year due to a soaring inflation and much higher interest rates in the past 3 years, as the increase will mainly be used to fine airlines with excessively noisy aircraft, as well as improving infrastructure at the airport, where operators of night flights will also have to pay more. Details of these stories and more will come to you on Global Business. Now, away from that, let's move straight to the floors of our featured exchanges. And like they say, charity begins at home, so we're starting on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange this morning, where the NGX all-share index over the weekend closed on a low, falling by 0.22% to close at 97,432.02 points. It may interest you to know that a total of 888,796,122 shares valued at 15,841,257,099 naira 98 kobo were traded across 8,803 deals with equity capitalization of 59 trillion 38 billion 681 million 417,428 naira 46 kobo. Now let's take a look at the biggest gainer and losers of the day, and starting off with the biggest gainer, well, John Holt carries the first position, if you may, with 10%, rising by 10%. Other gainers were the likes of Unicel, Red Star X, Fellow Suit, Wapik, and of course PZ Nigeria. However, on the other hand, the losers, Aradel topped the losers list with a decline of 10%. Other losers were the likes of Ella Lakes, Nurtiverse, McNichols, and Custodian. We're going to a quick break. When we return, we're going to be taking a look at activities from other selected exchanges. I'm talking about the likes of the New York Stock Exchange, the London Stock Exchange, the Chinese Stock Exchange, of course, comprises the Shenzhen and Shanghai exchanges. The Afia Business Morning, and indeed the opening bell. We'll be right back after this time out. Please stay. Yeah, welcome back to the Afia Business Morning, and you are watching Opening Bell. Now we're going straight to the floors of other featured exchanges, starting off, or rather continuing, with the New York Stock Exchange, where it's reportedly all rises in index values across board. It may interest you to know that as far as the New York Stock Exchange is concerned, it's all rises in index values across board. Let's take a short break. When we come back, we're going to be looking at some of these details in a bit. Please stay. Yeah, like I did say, it's all rises as far as the New York Stock Exchange is concerned, the NYSE Composite TJ is up at 0.08% all the way through to NASDAQ 100, which is also up at 0.72%. Moving on, let's take a look at what's happening in London now. London is also all rises, incidentally, in index values across the board. FTSE 100 is up at 0.83%, FTSE 250 is up 0.45%, FTSE 350 is up 0.78%, FTSE All-Share Index is also up at 0.76%. Now, the reverse is the case when we go to China. Starting off at the exchange at Shenzhen, where it's all dips. In index values across board, Shenzhen Component Index is down at 1.28%. ZSE Composite Index is down 2.31%. The Chinex Index is also down at 1.88%. Away from that, let's take a look at, still remaining in China, by the way, let's go to Shanghai. It's a mixture of rises and dips in index values across board, but mostly of dips. Where the SSE Composite Index is down at 0.24%. The Star 50 Index also follows suit down. The SSE 380 Index is down. CSI 300 Index all down at 3.06%, 0.52%, and 0.03% respectively. However, the SSE 50 Index and the SSE 180 Index are both up at 0.70% and 0.32% respectively. We'll go on another break, and when we return, we'll be looking at commodity prices as well as our consumer price watch in the open market. You may want to follow this program, join in on the conversation on our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel. Kindly tap in the search bar www.youtube.com/Afia Business, and while you're there, do hit the like button, and you should subscribe so you get notifications on all business related content coming to you from Afia TV. You can also follow us on Instagram with the handle at Afia Business _ to be part of our social media community. The Afia Business Morning and indeed Opening Bell will be right back after this time out. Stay tuned. My name is Ubon Kings.
I am Marvelous Apamaka.
I am Shioma Akbala.
My name is Ifunaya Ndule, but I'm living in our market speaking.
You're welcome back. I am Ubon Kings. Stay with the Afia Business Morning, and you're watching Opening Bell right here on Afia TV. It's time to check in on commodity prices, and we will begin with precious metals and its downward movement for gold today. And indeed, all precious metals on the chart this morning. Gold is down at 0.28%, silver is down 0.66%, platinum is down at 0.10%, palladium is also down at 1.89%. Away from that, let's take a look at energy this morning. It's a mixture of rises and dips in index values across the board. Well, you may be interested to know that natural gas is down at 1.63%, coal is down at 1.08%, oil bonylite is also down at 2.84%. However, the reverse is the case when we're looking at ethanol, which is up at 0.08%. Oil Brent is up also at 0.4%. Brush River and Quibo both up with the same values of 1.97% respectively. Now moved on to industrial metals now. Well, it's still another case of mixture of rises and dips, but more of rises than dips. The dips here we have the commodities that are down: aluminium, iron ore, and zinc, which are all down at 0.67%, 1.55%, and 1.28% respectively. However, lead is up at 2.31%, copper is up, nickel is up, tin is also up at 0.76%, 2.00%, and 2.73% respectively. You're still watching the Afia Business Morning. This indeed is Opening Bell. To follow the program, join in on the conversation on our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel. Kindly type in the search bar www.youtube.com/@Afia Business, and while you're there, do well to hit the like button. Remember, you can subscribe so you get notifications on all business-related content coming to you from Afia TV. You can also, by the way, join us on Instagram. Follow us with the handle at Afia Business _ to be part of our social media community. Up next, we'll be taking a look at the prices hikes, that is, in prices of food commodities in the April market, as well as hikes in fuel prices. And on that note, I'll see you tomorrow on the Opening Bell when the exchanges reopen for trading. And just so you know, the Afia Business Morning continues in a bit with the segment Global Business. My name is Ubon Kings. Stay tuned.
Join me every weekday on the Afia Business Morning as we bring to you a trilogy of business segments. See opening bell where we see activities from our select stock exchanges. The global business where we bring you up to speed on business activities making the rounds all over the world. And we bring the conversation home on the segment Eastern Business Reports as we discuss business activities and issues bedeviling businesses in the Southeast region. My name is Ubon Kings. Join the Afia Business Morning every weekday 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Exclusive to Afia TV on DSTV channel 254 and Go TV channel 17. The Afia Business Morning. Business unusual.
Thank you for rejoining me on the Afia Business Morning. Welcome to Global Business. And here we'll be taking a look at business news stories around the continent of Africa and indeed the rest of the world. My name is Ubon Kings. Here are the headlines that we're tracking at the moment. Starting off from Africa, where it's reported that South Africa projects rising debt despite improved growth. And away from that, Amsterdam's Schiphol Airport to raise airline fees. And from the world of tech, Apple to invest in Globalstar for satellites. We'll bring you details of these news stories and more right after this time out. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're still watching Global Business right here on the Afia Business Morning, and we begin with business news stories from Africa, where it's reported that the South African government has forecasted higher budget deficits and debts for the next 3 years, even as improved electricity supply suggests better growth prospects. When the first budget review since forming a coalition, the National Treasury projected a 5.0% deficit of national output for the fiscal year ending in March 2025, up from 4.5% previously forecast. However, South Africa's debt is anticipated to stabilize at 75.5% of gross domestic product GDP by 2025-2026, as the Treasury noted that improved investor confidence due to reduced power blackouts and emphasized infrastructure development as key to growth, aiming to attract private sector investment for public projects. Now, there are a few things I wish to point out in this particular story that I'd like to emphasize. Number one is the fact that, well, South Africa's debt is anticipated to stabilize at 75.5% of gross domestic product GDP by 2025-2026. Good point to note. Second is that the Treasury has noted an improved investor confidence, underlying that. Improved investor confidence due to what? Reduced power blackouts. Reduced power blackouts. Does that sound familiar? Now, third would be the fact that they emphasized infrastructure development, which pretty much is key to growth, and the fact that they are aiming to attract private sector investment for public projects. Does that sound similar to Nigeria's economic situation? Nah. And the answer is no. Little wonder South Africa at the moment is the largest economy in Africa, with a GDP of $373.23 billion in 2024. Now, for the sake of scale, let's put it on the scale. South Africa's economy is about 3 times larger than Nigeria's on a per capita basis. Rest my case. Moving on to other business news stories making the rounds, and this time around from the world of aerospace, where it's reported that Amsterdam's Schiphol Airport has announced that it will be raising its airline fees by 41% due to a soaring inflation and much higher interest rates in the past 3 years, as the increase will mainly be used to fine airlines with excessively noisy aircraft, as well as improve infrastructure at the airports where operators of night flights will also have to pay more. Fees are also set to rise by 6% in 2026, but will fall 7.5% in the following year. However, this will still mean that airlines will have to shell about €15 more on average in 2027 than in 2024 for passengers departing locally. Although Schiphol Airport has revealed that it will need an investment of about €6 billion over the next 5 years, which will go primarily towards quality improvements and maintenance, it also announced that it will be contributing €100 million towards this in order to lessen burdens on airlines. Now, a number of things I need to put in perspective. Now, the Amsterdam Airport, Schiphol, known informally, so to speak, as the Schiphol Airport, is the main international airport of the Netherlands. And it is one of the major hubs for the SkyTeam Airline Alliance. That's a story for another day. Now, having said that, it is incredible to note that maintenance has been an issue at this airport over a period of time, right? Which it is anticipating the sum of €6 billion over the next 5 years, which, according to them, will go primarily towards quality improvements and maintenance. Underline that. Quality improvements and maintenance. Now, the question is, does this show, is this a case of poor maintenance culture that, well, has sadly permeated the African continent, or this was a deliberate attempt to pretty much attend to these issues collectively at once? I doubt that, though. And interestingly, too, passengers will be impacted greatly by this, as airfare prices would increase or has increased and will continue to. Meanwhile, this reminds me of the Nigerian airspace phenomenon as well, which of course we're going to be looking at today on the Eastern Business Report just after this this session on global business. You're watching Global Business on the Afia Business Morning on Afia TV. You may want to join in the conversation, join in live right now as well on our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel. Kindly tap in the search bar www.youtube.com/Afia Business, and while you're there, do it to hit the like button. And remember, you should subscribe so you get notifications on all business-related content coming to you from Afia TV. And you can also follow us on socials, Instagram specifically, with the handle at Afia Business _ to be part of our social media community. Up next, we'll be bringing to you more business stories from the world of tech and from the automotive world right after this time out. Stay tuned. My name is Ubon Kings.
I am Marvelous Apamaga.
I am Chioma Okpala.
My name na Ifunaya Ndume, but I'm even a market speaking.
You're welcome back to the Afia Business Morning right here on Afia TV. You are watching Global Business. Now to the rest of our stories. And this time we're moving on to the world of tech, where it's reported that Apple is to invest up to $1.5 billion in Global Star, a satellite company, to fund the expansion of its iPhone communication services, where the shares of Global Star jumped over 30%, while Apple was down around 1.4% a day after its forecast tepid quarterly revenue growth. However, under the funding agreement, Apple will commit $1.1 billion in cash and also purchase 20% equity in Global Star for $400 million, where the satellite company said it will use a portion of its funds to pay down debt. Meanwhile, the iPhone maker partnered with Global Star in 2022 for a feature that will allow Apple users to send emergency messages from remote areas. Now, if you ask me from my standpoint, from where I stand or sit in this case scenario, this is great business acumen for me right here. Now, the purpose of this partnership is basically to fund the expansion of iPhone's communication services. Now, quickly, let me remind you that this business venture started off in 2022 for a feature that, of course, with Global Star, that will allow Apple users to send emergency messages from remote areas. Now, I'm guessing that partnership paid off hugely, and that will be the only reason, because frankly, this is business, yeah? So that would be the only reason Apple would be committing $1.1 billion in cash and also purchase 20% equity of Global Star for another $400 million. That's just what it is. It's business. We'll see how all of this pans out eventually, and where the two of them stay as far as stocks are concerned eventually. And finally, from the automotive world, let's bring you this report that China has filed a lawsuit against the European Union (EU) before the World Trade Organization (WTO) over the steep tariffs the bloc has slammed on its electric vehicles, which Brussels argues benefits from the excessive subsidies to retail at artificially low prices in global markets. Furthermore, while European Union officials are open to exploring a deal, they warn minimum prices for a product as sophisticated and diverse as electric vehicles could prove impossible to enforce by customs officials. However, the Chinese Chamber of Commerce to the European Union is involved in the process, denounced the tariffs as arbitrary, unjustified and politically motivated, and warned that they could have a complex impact on the ongoing discussions about minimum prices. Now let's look at this. The last part of that paragraph of that story says something, that this could have a complex impact on the ongoing discussions about minimum prices. Now, funny enough, Euronews calls this whole incident trade frictions. To me, this has become a trade war, between the European Union and China, especially because the situation has so escalated to the point that Beijing has filed a WTO lawsuit over these tariffs imposed on its electric vehicles. Now, interestingly too, there are a lot of dimensions to this story, but then Euronews reports this issue as China describes it as unreasonable tariffs on electric cars. Let's take a look.
China filed a lawsuit against the European Union before the World Trade Organization over the steep tariffs the bloc has slapped on its electric vehicles. Brussels argues the electric vehicles benefit from excessive subsidies to retail at artificially low prices in global markets. The new duties come on top of an existing 10% levy and are being collected as of Wednesday, the 30th of October.
并加征高额关税是典型的贸易保护主义行为，将损害中欧的产业链、供应链合作，损害欧洲消费者的利益，损害欧盟绿色转型和全球应对气候变化的努力。
Designed by the European Commission to offset Beijing's financial aid and prevent EU firms from being pushed out of the lucrative electric vehicle sector, the trade measures will remain in place for 5 years.
我们希望欧方以建设性的态度与中方继续推进磋商，展现诚意和灵活性，寻求解决方案，避免贸易摩擦扩大升级。
China has previously threatened retaliation against the EU's dairy, brandy and pork industries, moves that Brussels has denied as unwarranted. The ministry stressed its willingness to continue negotiations with the Commission to achieve a solution as soon as possible that could reverse the tariffs.
We'll follow up with this story as well as other stories as they unfold and keep you in the loop. And talking about keeping you in the loop, you may want to get to our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel and watch it live as well there and be part of the conversations. Kindly tap in the search bar www.youtube.com/Afia Business, and while you're there, remember you should hit the like button and subscribe so you get notifications on all business related content coming to you from Afia TV. You can also follow us on socials, Instagram more specifically with the handle @Afia Business _ to be part of our social media community. You're still watching the Afia Business Morning right here on Afia TV. Coming up next will be a conversation around some developing stories as we try to jump on these conversations around the business space on the Eastern Business Report. The Afia Business Morning will be right back after this time out. My name is Ubong Kings. Stay tuned. My name is Ubong Kings.
I am Marvelous Afia.
I am Chioma Okpala.
My name na Ifunaya Ndule, but I'm living in our market pikin.
Looking to grow your business? At Afia TV, we've got just what you need with our various on-screen advertising options like squeeze bags, lower third, sidebars, right in front of your audience. With our lower third, your brand messages appear during the most viewed programs on TV, allowing your audience to see your message without interrupting their TV experience. Now, if you want to go big, our squeeze bag is ideal because it puts your brand messages on spotlight without interrupting viewers' experience. With our sidebars, your brand messages also takes the spotlight on our screen, ensuring brand exposure. These advertising options are affordable, effective, and designed to drive results. Get started today and watch your business shoot up. For more inquiries, call the numbers on your screen.
The Afia Business Morning. Join me every weekday on the Afia Business Morning as we bring to you a trilogy of business segments. The opening bell where we see activities from our select stock exchanges. The global business where we bring you up to speed on business activities making the rounds all over the world. And we bring the conversation home on the segment Eastern Business Reports as we discuss business activities and issues bedeviling businesses in the Southeast region. My name is Ubong Kings. Join the Afia Business Morning every weekday 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Exclusive to Afia TV on DSTV channel 254 and Go TV channel 17. The Afia Business Morning. Business unusual.
You're still watching the Afia Business Morning, and this is the Eastern Business Report, which is designed to bring you up to speed on business activities and policies affecting businesses and the economy of southeastern region of Nigeria. It comes right after Global Business on the Afia Business Morning, and on today's edition of the Eastern Business Report, we'll be looking at developing stories, conversations around the business space. And it's the 4th day of November 2024, about 7 weeks and about 3 days thereabout to Christmas, and a lot of dynamics are playing out with reference to homecoming. And one of them would be, we're going to be looking at conversations from around FS soar by 250% as Nigerian rush for Christmas bookings. We're also going to look at a report on the fact that the informal sector accounts for about 76.7% of Nigeria's workforce. And we're going to look also at the independent marketers saying that the Dangote petrol price is, too high. Now, all these issues and more will form the basis of our conversation this morning. My name is Ubong Kings. Welcome. So we begin right now with this reality, the fact that FS are soaring by 250% as Nigerians rush for Christmas bookings. Now, it may interest you to know that passengers in Nigeria have been charged about 250% more for air tickets in the last 1 year, and now they are preparing for another steep rise during the Christmas holidays. And this is due to rising operational costs for airlines, a declining naira, and growing passenger traffic during the Yuletide season. This in itself has put financial strain on people who use the airlines to travel to meet their families or go for holidays. Now, interestingly too, domestic and international flights are experiencing a high increase in their prices, mainly due to factors in the external macro environment affecting the aviation industry. Now, a case in point will be that of our very own airpiece. But before we look at anything else, now, it's important to note that quite a number of things are responsible for this, right? Number one would be the fact that our currency, so to speak, is on the nosedive. A lot of persons there's going to be traffic, yes, a lot of traffic when it comes to traveling, going home for Christmas or for some persons New Year, whatever it is. But that in itself has affected, so to speak, the pricing of these things. But then let's take a look at this report that has what I put together with reference to this particular phenomenon, the increase in prices of air tickets. Real quickly, we'll look at that and come back and continue this conversation. Please stay.
Airpeace, one of Nigeria's leading airlines, has announced a significant increase in its fare for the popular Lagos to Abuja route. From November 1, 2024, passengers will be required to pay up to N200,000 for a one-way ticket. This hike comes as airlines across the country struggle to cope with rising operational costs. Economic challenges force Airpeace to raise prices. The increase in airfares has been attributed to worsening economic conditions in Nigeria. An official from Airpeace explained that the escalating cost of aviation fuel, maintenance, and taxes are major factors driving the fare hike. The airline, like many others, is feeling the pressure from rising costs and is left with no option but to pass this on to consumers. Air travel becomes unaffordable for many Nigerians. With the new N200,000 fare, Airpeace will have the highest ticket price for domestic flights in Nigeria. Other airlines are also following suit, with aero contractors charging between N94,000 and N109,000, while Arike and Ibom Air have fares ranging from N104,000 to N133,000. This drastic rise in fares has left many Nigerians turning to road transport, although the high cost of fuel has made this option less affordable as well. Impacts on passengers and domestic travel. The rising cost of air travel has severely disrupted travel plans for many passengers, particularly on the busy Lagos-Abuja route. Airports across the country are reporting increased numbers of stranded travelers who can no longer afford the steep airfares. Many passengers are being forced to seek alternative modes of transport, compounding the challenges for the aviation sector.
Now, the truth of the matter is, from assessment, is that the Nigerian aviation industry has been subjected to the highest cost pressures through inflation, high jet fuel prices, and currency devaluation. Anyway, fingers crossed, hopefully our loved ones come home to visit this season. And in the course of the week, we will discuss this a little further, sharing its implication on the economy of the southeastern part of Nigeria. And moving on to other things that I'm looking at this morning. Another story that I intend looking at this week as a developing story will be about Nigeria's workforce, where it's reported that the informal sector employs about 76.7% of Nigerians. A new study which was sponsored by Jobberman Nigeria has found that the informal sector in Nigeria accounts for about 76.7% of employed Nigerians, underscoring its role as the backbone of the nation's workforce. Now, this report, which was released in partnership with the MasterCard Foundation, highlighted the critical importance of the informal sector to Nigeria's economy. It also indicated that self-employment was a dominant trend, with 75.4% of individuals engaging informal work rather, for at least 1 hour weekly. Now, this particular report brings a lot of things to mind. The question that really comes to my mind really is, if the informal sector is this important, how come it's not given as much prominence? This reminds me of a report that I saw on, by CGTN Africa about experts in Nigeria calling for formal recognition of the Nigerian informal economy. Let's take a look, and when I come back, we'll wrap this up.
Juliet Okafor started her business out of necessity. She had to stop her education in 2012 to learn tailoring and support her family. Today, she runs a small ready-to-wear fashion shop in Abuja, where she works hard to provide for her family and slowly grow her brand. However, with rising costs and low profits, it hasn't been an easy journey.
My biggest motivation is it was an avenue to help my family, because I think this is one of the ways to help my family. It was a big upgrade from what we used to do. My mom is into farming, she's still into it. So from here I help my family.
A 2024 report by MoneyPoint shows that unemployment pushed nearly 52% of business owners in Nigeria's informal sector to start their own businesses. Like Juliet, many are driven by necessity, working in a tough environment with limited resources and support.
We also have this category of people that their income is not enough and they actually want to diversify and have another source of income. They also venture into this informal sector economy to see how they can start a business that they'll use to augment.
The informal sector is the backbone of Nigeria's economy, providing over 80% of jobs and contributing 46% to the nation's GDP. Yet, despite its importance, these businesses often go unrecognized, struggling with inconsistent government policies and lack of support. Nearly 90% earn about $320 a month, with just a partly 1.3% making over $1,500. Nigeria's informal sector faces tough times.
Oh, well, yes, indeed, Nigeria's informal sector faces a lot of tough times. But then, question is however worthy of note, really, that the informal sector is particularly vital for youth, women, and vulnerable populations, offering essential job opportunities and survival pathways for millions across the country. Now, the question I asked earlier was, if this sector is that important, why does it look like it isn't given that much attention? Now, another thing I want to point out really from that particular session is the fact that it is noted that 75.4% of individuals in Nigeria engage in the informal workforce. That's clearly stated out. And then the question I want to ask is, would it be a bad thing, would it be out of place or context, if you may, that Nigerians begin to call for formal recognition of its informal economy? Oh well, we'll find out later this week as we will build on this conversation to know more. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'll be looking at other developing stories right here. And you could do well to join us on our YouTube platform and be part of the conversation by going to www.youtube.com/Afia Business. While you're there, do well to hit the like button. Remember, you should subscribe so you get notifications on all business-related content coming to you from Afia TV. And while you're still there, let's inform you that we are on socials, Instagram more specifically, with the handle @Afia Business _. Let's take the break, and when we come in, we'll be looking at something else, and this will have to do with the Dangote versus Ipman saga. Let's take the break. When we come back, we'll jump into it. Stay tuned. You're welcome back. And yes, indeed, it's still the Eastern Business Report. And just before the break, I did share with you 2 developing stories that I'd love to explore this week on the Eastern Business Report. One was that about airfares soaring by 250% as Nigerians are rushing for Christmas bookings. And the other is about Nigeria's workforce, the fact that the informal sector is employing about 76.7% of Nigerians. Now, moving on to the other one, the other important issue we'll be exploring this week will be about the Dangote petrol price and the fact that independent marketers are lamenting it is too high. Let's bring you the report that, the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, says it is more expensive to buy premium motor spirit PMS, also known as petrol, from the Dangote Petroleum Refinery than other sources. Yakubu Suleiman, National Assistant Secretary of IPMAN, made this disclosure over the weekend. Suleiman said members go for more affordable options at other depots across Nigeria than the high logistical costs associated with buying petrol from the Dangote Refinery. Now, all I can scream is, what? Dangote Refinery is costlier? Now, the truth is, anyone would have thought otherwise, okay? This reminds me, I have excerpts from that particular interview session, so let's take a look at it real quickly. When we come back, we will wrap this up.
We want to tell you that we as Nigerians and as IPMAN were the most happiest people to have Dangote, a Nigerian company, having a refinery in Nigeria, especially this massive refinery. It's a great achievement. Like I've told you earlier on, we are pleased with him. We are going to support him 101%, and we are happy with this development as a Nigerian. And if Dangote, the only mistake Dangote did is he didn't create a synergy between the industries members, like the stakeholders, like IPMAN, MOMAN, and DAPMAN. And we said, okay, as IPMAN, we oversight that. Instead of him to call us, we went to him severally, more than 3 to 4 times to him. At least let us engage and salvage Nigeria at this particular period. But he was telling us, first, he even tell us that he is not going to engage with us. He just want to deal with individual marketers. It's an insult to our own integrity. Everybody knows IPMAN. Everybody knows how the strength we have. We oversighted, and we still went back to him about 3 to 4 times. But yet, he said to see us, he would tell us, he would call us, he would call us. So, we just had in his press conference like 2-3 days in the villa that we don't want to come and buy product. If we don't want, we couldn't even reach at him. We really wanted, so that at least maybe the product, our expectation, when we go there, maybe he allocates some product to us, we will be having less price than where we were taking. But at the moment, Dangote, only if you go to him, we as marketers trying to buy, or anybody wants to buy, he just gives you as a bulk at 995 naira. And we're talking about when you buy it, it's not like trucking. You have to take it on a vessel. So if you compare that last week, that was why when you from his depot to other depots, his product is going to be around 1,020 something naira. So it's better you import. It's more cheaper. I don't go to as a body. IPMAN has not transacted with IPMAN. He only transact with those bulk buyers that will go and take it to their depot, various depot, for us to go to them and buy product there. You understand? And we are trying to create an enabling environment between IPMAN and Dangote. Let him give that leverage where he will transact directly with IPMAN. Let us have direct, the way other depot owners deal directly with IPMAN. Maybe NNPC deal with us. That is it. And if he can collaborate with IPMAN, who are the highest off-takers, the product will have come down, Nigerians will enjoy. This is an assurance I want to tell you. The depot owners, which they will have to pay for the freight of the product from his depot to their depot. Try to understand. So they must pay the vessel. How much do they pay the vessel? How much do they pay the other charges? You understand? So all that, when they accumulatively, when they put it on the pricing, it will go to their depot at about 120 or 20 something naira. So how much will they sell to us? You understand the point? It's not all about that. No, it's not favorable. But I want to assure you, Hadibi is telling it directly to everyone at that price even. Price will have come down by now in Nigeria. We as Ibman, as a body, will go to Dangote directly, pay 995 or 900 naira and pick that product straight to affiliation. Please, I want to challenge you or challenge us in the next few days. If Dangote can do that, you see how much price will come down in our retail station.
Oh well, you've seen that report, and this, on that note, we'll pretty much leave it where it is. And these issues will be more of things we'll be looking at in the course of the week. And yes, indeed, you may want to join in on our YouTube channel. Go to www.youtube.com/@Afia Business. And while you're there, do hit the like button. Remember, you should subscribe as well so you get notifications on all business-related content coming to you from Afia TV. And you can also follow us on socials, Instagram more specifically, with the handle @AfiaBusiness_. And that's the size of the package this morning. These conversations we saw earlier today are things we're going to be looking at throughout the week, and other developers as it grows. We keeping you updated because it affects all of us here also in the southeastern part of Nigeria. Coming up next will be Onye Afia. I want to thank you for your time profusely. My name is Ubong Kings. Good morning.
Time check, it's 2 p.m. and it's time for us to vibe, chill, and relax. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lunch Break on Afia TV. So Lunch Break is all about the music, it's all about fun, it's all about entertainment, it's all about entertaining gossip and stories from social